Good to have you back. This is Environmental Intelligence, Episode 61. It's July 27th, 2026. Starting the week with the environmental regulatory developments that matter for your practice. BC faces pressure to lower carbon pricing to match Alberta, directly affecting compliance costs for energy and remediation projects. British Columbia is under pressure to reduce its carbon price to align with Alberta's rate. The change would affect facilities operating under the province's carbon tax and output-based pricing system. Projects involving emissions reporting, site remediation, energy use, or fuel consumption face direct cost implications if alignment occurs. If you only note one thing today for your compliance calendar, review project budgets for potential carbon cost reductions in British Columbia energy and remediation work, with a provincial response expected within 30 days. The development stems from interprovincial competitiveness concerns in the energy sector. Current British Columbia pricing creates higher compliance costs for facilities subject to the province's carbon tax and output-based pricing system. Consultants should track ministerial announcements for any formal policy shift. No consultation timeline has been announced. In Ontario, Kincardine Council received a request for stronger environmental operating procedures at local facilities. The request targets operational practices with potential implications for emissions and waste management compliance. No regulatory amendment has been proposed yet. A remediation contractor preparing a 2027 work plan for a former industrial site in the Lower Mainland just received a client request to rerun the cost model, assuming a 20% drop in the carbon price. The current British Columbia rate directly affects diesel consumption charges for excavation, thermal desorption, and off-site transport. Alberta's lower rate creates a clear benchmark that British Columbia facilities are now citing in contract negotiations. Experienced practitioners flag the fuel surcharge line item first when interprovincial pricing gaps appear, because even modest reductions compound quickly on high-volume soil movement. The mistake I see most often is treating the carbon price as a fixed overhead rather than a variable that must be modeled against specific equipment hours and transport distances. The fix is straightforward. Rerun the equipment schedule with both current and potential aligned rates before locking the client estimate. If you're working on remediation and energy project budgets in British Columbia, review carbon pricing assumptions in all active files. Monitor Alberta, British Columbia pricing alignment announcements for compliance cost impacts. Update emissions reporting templates to flag interprovincial rate differences. Brief Ontario clients on potential nuclear facility procedure changes in Kincardine. Mark your calendar for a British Columbia government response to Alberta carbon pricing pressure in the next 30 days. Track the Kincardine Council decision on the Environmental Operating Procedures request, with timing unspecified. In the next briefing, watch for any formal announcement on British Columbia carbon price alignment. That's environmental intelligence for today. If this briefing is useful to your practice, share it with a colleague and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. We'll be back with the next briefing. Have a productive day, and if you'd rather watch than listen, find us on YouTube at NERA Network. Links in the show notes. And before you go, this show is part of the NERA Network, a family of daily podcasts on tech, science, and markets, each one a short, sharp briefing you can finish on the commute. If today earned its place in your feed, here's your next listen. OmniView, a balanced daily world news briefing that takes every side seriously. Find every show free at naranetwork.com. And on the website, every episode's visuals live in our free image gallery at naranetwork.com/gallery. Royalty free under Creative Commons. Download with attribution. This episode used AI voice synthesis of my voice. Editorial selection and analysis are my own.